Hello everybody and welcome to my review of Margaritaville Island Reserve Riviera. This is actually the first video on my channel and I hope you enjoy it. This is going to be an honest review of my experiences while staying at the resort. If you're deciding whether this adults-only Margaritaville resort is right for you, stay tuned. This year I decided to treat myself for my 38th birthday and decided on Margaritaville mostly because it is a newer resort and the fact that there weren't many reviews of it here on YouTube. Also, I tried to keep an open mind about everything, even though, I will admit, I'm not a fan of Jimmy Buffett's music. Jimmy Buffett is a huge topic, and I could go on and on about him. That would have to be a separate video. You came for a review of the resort, not a commentary about his music. Anyways, Margaritaville did have a lot of pros going for it, but there were a few cons that some people might overlook. Right off the bat, when you arrive, you're given a friendly welcome by the porters outside who guide you inside to the lobby, where you are given a margarita popsicle, which is definitely a unique and refreshing touch that really makes Margaritaville stand out. Check-in was actually a breeze for me, and the resort had no problems with the reservation I made through Southwest Vacations. One issue that I read in other reviews was that rooms weren't ready after checking in, but that was not the case for me. After filling out all the paperwork, I was told that my room was ready. I arrived at the resort on a Sunday afternoon and left on a Wednesday morning, which did make for a quick trip. Now I'm going to admit, I did feel out of place here a bit. I kind of felt like I was one of the youngest people staying at the resort by at least 30 years. Yeah, there were some younger people, but it felt like I was staying at a weird retirement home that catered to parrot heads. For those of you wondering what a parrot head is, well, it's what fans of Jimmy Buffett are called. There's no shortage of Jimmy Buffett throughout the resort, ranging from what I call Jimmyisms on the walls to the dedicated TV channel available in your room. The rooms actually checked off the Jimmy Buffett vibes. There were a few compasses plastered around for changes in latitude, changes in attitudes. The provided toiletries like the soap and shampoo fit the island vibes, but if you don't want to smell like the islands, bring your own. All the colors are bright and vibrant, kinda like feeling like you're having a day at the beach in addition to the photos in your room. Now the biggest complaint I had about my room was the bed. No matter what position I tried sleeping in, I could not get comfortable. The mattress itself was trying to be both firm and soft, but failed at both miserably. The pillows by themselves were great. You have two different types of pillows on the bed in addition to the decorative pillow. The resort itself is on the smaller side, but don't let its small size fool you. It did feel bigger than what it really was, and I never felt like I could get lost at all, which definitely helped. Now there were a few different amenities available, some of which I've never seen at other resorts. If you like playing pickleball, you're in luck. Margaritaville was one of the first resorts in the Cancun area to include dedicated pickleball courts. And of course, you have free pools and a spa and a gym. But other than that, there was not much else to do here besides drink copious amounts of alcohol or participate in the pool games. Speaking of drinking, it really felt like it was a pastime at this resort, which is common whenever you go to an all-inclusive resort. I mean, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Heck, boat drinks always sound good. Now I'm from Wisconsin, and I am what you would call sober by Wisconsin standards, meaning I average about 1 drink a month, if I'm lucky. The way some of the people here were drinking would definitely make the hardest Wisconsinite blush. There are a few different bars, of which 2 were swim-up bars. And I'm also not a foodie by any means, but if you do get hungry, there are only a few restaurants available. The only restaurant I did not get to try was Frank and Lola's, which is an Italian restaurant. That's mostly because I don't always get hungry for dinner. Also, room service is available at no charge through the TV in your room with a very limited menu. And yes, you can get a cheeseburger in paradise. Every meal I had was excellent, no matter the time of day. The only problem I had was that there was only a limited amount of restaurants, which I get due to the smaller footprint of the resort. Of course, you can't forget the hardworking staff of Margaritaville Island Reserve Riviera. These guys hustle hard no matter their job. From housekeeping, to the waitstaff, the bartenders, and countless others. These guys definitely kept the resort running at tip-top shape. I've never felt so welcome at any resort I've ever stayed at thanks to the staff. Now for some of the major complaints I had about the resort. I already addressed the bed and the restaurant situation. One thing was there was not much to do. There was an activity pool with volleyball games happening at just about any time, and there were pool games and Spanish lessons. But that was about it. No theater, no casino, not much else to do. There were times where I just laid in bed and watched Mexican television. You will get bored pretty easily unless you want to sit by the pool and drink all day. Be sure to book a few excursions while staying at Margaritaville Island Reserve. Speaking of the pool, there was an optional avocado boat. Yes, I said avocado boat. That thing was massive. I saw the kitchen staff assemble it while I was eating my lunch and then deliver the avocado boat poolside to whoever ordered it. Now the avocado boat was not cheap by any means at all. It was $115. You heard that right. 115 US dollars. Another complaint was a fact that I addressed. If you're younger, you will be outnumbered by many older people. some of which had their adult children tagging along. It really felt like they were targeting older people and leaving a lot of younger people out. One thing that does help is that this is an adults-only resort, but the lack of diversity and things to do for all age ranges really doesn't help matters. If you like spending time on the beach, well, this resort is not for you. There is not much of a beach to speak of. The resort is built right up to the beach. There's no putting your feet in the sand. Now, at the time of my visit in mid-May of 2025, the steps that led down to the beach were blown away by a hurricane. I guess you could say there's no trying to reason with hurricane season. There was a red flag out the entire time of my stay, which I think the resort left out to discourage people from going down to the beach. Also, with the beach situation, the Riviera Maya gets a lot of sargassum, more so depending on the time of the year. The resorts along the Riviera Maya do their best at disposing of the sargassum and trying to minimize how much washes up on the shore. I will admit, it's not the most pleasant of smells, but it's also not all that noticeable. And the water is not the picturesque blue oceans you expect to see. It's more of a brown, but the waters are still beautiful to look at, especially from further away, and also at night. Just remember, you're in paradise. There's a lot more to see besides the ocean. Now here's the big one for me. I experienced what I called Jimmy overload. There was an overwhelming presence of Jimmy Buffett everywhere. Now yes, he's no longer with us, but he was still with us in spirit. His music was playing throughout the resort, and if you wanted to, you could watch highlights from some of his previous concerts on the dedicated TV channel in your room. I honestly felt like I couldn't escape him at all. When I got home, I had to go pick up groceries. Now I was walking through the frozen food section, and you won't believe what caught the corner of my eye. Margaritaville frozen foods. I swear, it felt like I couldn't escape Jimmy Buffett, even here in Wisconsin. So, would I go back to Margaritaville Island Reserve Riviera Maya? Honestly, I don't think I would. Now don't get me wrong, I had a good time, but I honestly got more sleep at home than I did while staying at the resort. But the question for you to ask yourself is this: is this the perfect resort for me? Honestly, do your own research and look at what would fit your budget and look for things that you would want when you go on vacation. Now for the grand totals for everything. I booked my trip to Margaritaville using Southwest Vacations, which included round-trip flights between Chicago Midway and Cancun International Airports, round-trip private transportation through Amstar, and of course my stay at the resort, which cost me a total of $1,300. And of course, I paid for everything out of my own pocket. Well, that'll do it for this trip. Hopefully you caught some of the Jimmy Buffett song title puns sprinkled throughout the review. Join me next time when I go back to some of my old stomping grounds in Ohio. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, you can get upcoming previews of what I'm working on by following me on Instagram. Stay adventurous.